Welcome to the Bob and John Sports Hour. On today's show, Bertney Greiner still in Russia. Andre couldn't get her out with his private yacht. IOC issues new guidelines for transgender athletes. Warren Sapp says Kaepernick's tryout was horrible. Dashawn Watson and the Cleveland Browns still waiting to find out if he's going to sit out the 2022 NFL season. Aaron Judd avoids arbitration with the Yankees. And joining us today is the man. I want to get this 100% correct. Hold on, I gotta make these moves here. Here we go. And you're gonna laugh, but I had to do this, Mr. Andre. All right. And joining us today is a man that is the true inspiration for one of the characters from the movie Karate Kid, Johnny, and taught William Zappa how to sweep the leg. Let's say hello to Mr. Andre Sala.
All right. Yeah.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
Jesus. That is awesome.
Look at those chops, baby. Look at those chops.
Look at the button chops.
Notice how slim and tall I looked?
Yeah, Andre, you weren't fooling around. Look at that.
Yeah, he was ready to sweep the leg, Bob. He's ready to sweep the leg.
Where the hell did you get that, man?
Actually, I got that picture off of somebody else's. One of our cousins posted that picture in a slide.
It had to be Josie or Anna.
Yeah. It's that picture, and then the very next picture is a picture of you and Maureen. I think right after after your wedding. I was going to do that one too, but I was like, you know what? I gotta show the world the slim Elvis Presley of San Francisco, Karate Kid.
You could have showed a better picture, though.
No, that's you, man. That's
that was just my beginning belt, a yellow belt. You could have shown one with a darker belt.
Well, you'll have to send me a picture of you with a different color belt on. I don't know.
Then you better call Anna or Linda. They have my book.
They have your book.
Yeah, somehow they got my album. Maureen made me a nice album with all these pictures like that.
Yeah.
And somehow it's in their possession.
Instead
of my possession.
Yeah, you better get that back, man. I might try to sell those photos to Sports Illustrated.
They can make a fortune. If they can talk the story behind it, they can make a fortune.
Yeah, make a fortune.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Sharp, how are you doing, and how's your week going, my friend?
Good. I got a day off. A lot of working this weekend, so.
Yeah. You get to. What does Bob Sharp do on his day off? Other than the show?
Unfortunately, today Bob tried to sleep till noon because he got in at 4:30 this morning. So.
Oh yeah, shit.
Bob's trying to just function right now. So.
Yeah.
I'd be sleeping until noon too, and I
did
until
noon. Now you don't got nowhere to go.
I don't even have to get up.
No, I did 14 hours yesterday, so.
Yeah. Andre wakes up at noon and goes, "Man, half the day's gone."
Why is it 2:00 already?
And Andre, welcome back. I know you were on vacation. Yeah, you went. Yes, you didn't fish. You didn't do anything but sit in a chair and enjoy the grandkids.
Smoke a ton of cigars.
And there you go.
Yeah, that's it.
And I got funky one night.
Yeah.
I almost fell in the fireplace. They were telling me.
I could see that.
When I was standing up to go back to my campground, I was starting to lean forward, and somebody had to catch me.
That's too many margaritas, buddy.
Nope.
Bourbon?
No, maybe. I guess it could be bourbon.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's called bourbon or not. I had a lot of bullet rye.
Bullet rye whiskey, yeah.
With cherries and I guess cherry juice and cherries. Kind of cherries that you put like in a
maraschino
or something like that.
Yeah, maraschino cherries. Maraschino.
They were fermented or soaked in
brandy.
Yeah, they weren't just maraschino cherries that you could open a jar and eat.
Yeah, they were soaked
Anyway,
in
that's what I
brandy.
drank, and it took me 3 days to recover.
Yeah.
For 3 days, I didn't drink nothing but water and Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about the let's get right into the Bertney thing. The Andre couldn't get her out of there with his private yacht.
I tried, man. I tried,
You
honest.
tried. You tried. You tried to strike a deal with Putin.
I didn't have enough Prioskis. It
Uh,
was the Prioskis that he wanted. I just didn't have enough.
what do you trade the man that has everything? He technically he has everything. I don't think there's anything.
His life.
You trade the Ukraine. That's something he doesn't have. The Ukraine.
Yeah. Exactly. He doesn't have Ukraine.
He's got half of it though.
Bob, you wanted to talk about this. So what are you thinking here? What's going on?
Okay, actually, okay, when she first got caught, I was kind of, hey, you can't, smoke weed in other countries and not get penalized for it.
Yeah.
But the longer this thing goes on, because everybody, all right, so here's where this is coming from. When the Black Lives Matter movement, that's all the WNBA did, was scream, they protested on the court. They wouldn't stand for the national anthem. They wouldn't be on the court, blah, blah, blah. They did everything they could, to bring wokeness, awareness of the plights of Americans and Black Americans in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've read, at every NBA game, they are talking about, freeing Bertney Greiner. So the problem is ESPN doesn't broadcast that stuff anymore. Nobody wants to talk about her anymore. It's like she doesn't exist. Well, how come she doesn't exist now? If it was, a year ago, that's all they talked about. Now she doesn't exist because she's stuck in Russia. Nobody's doing anything to help her. Where's the Black Lives Matter movement? Where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Where's all these people openly talking about why can't we free Bertney Greiner? They're not talking about her. Basically, she's a lost cause thrown under the bus. I understand that they're going to start a trial next week in Russia, finally.
Right. Yeah.
July the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody talks about it anymore. I was just curious. What happened to the woke generation out there who needed a cause? Here's your cause. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, I kind of did a little bit of digging myself on this to see what the hell was going on. And there's a lot of stories that are floating around, some of them from the Russian papers. And then there's another gentleman there, and I want to make sure I say his name right, and it's Paul Whelan. Yeah, he's a U.S. Marine who was arrested for alleged spying and listening to verdicts in courtrooms at the Moscow City Courthouse in Moscow, Russia. He's been in there since December 2018. Yeah. And they've been trying to get him out. Now, I mean, his case is a little bit different than hers.
Right, he's fine.
I mean, he's espionage, where she's a drug related thing. And from what I understand is there's somebody here that they want. So now both sides are playing a chess match on whether or not they want to release a certain individual that's here in the U.S. For her. But now these people that are the family members of this individual Paul are a little bit upset because they're saying, hey, if she gets to go home, that's bullshit. He needs to come home as well. He's been there since 2018, and they're saying allegedly, that was bullshit charges as well. So there's some. I think that's the reason why you're not hearing anything, because I think the State Department and the U.S. government is hushing everything down right now and trying to keep everything out of the papers so they can make Russia, from what I understand, kind of make Russia feel like they don't have the upper hand right now, because they want somebody that we have in custody right now. It's a pretty bad dude.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad dude. I mean, he's an arms dealer, straight up arms dealer. And he has, I forget, a nickname, something, Warlord, something. I don't know what his name is, but now that's what's going on. So it's a weird thing. Go ahead, Andre.
I just heard this on the radio also. I mean, on TV, the same thing you're saying is that the trial date's going to be July the 1st.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They want to try and exchange one prisoner with another prisoner. Then I also heard stories months ago where Britney Spears,
Yeah, her too. Take her, trade her.
where Brittany Greiner and this fellow American that's in prison also, maybe they were going to try and do the exchange 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My belief is maybe there is a trade that they want to do with the person, but I believe it probably is going to have to do something with the Ukrainians. Maybe they want us to stop giving Ukraine money so they could buy weapons, or whatever that we're giving them support with. Maybe they want that stopped, and then maybe they'll get rid of not get rid of, but release Brittany Griner and the other fella you're talking about.
Yeah.
And as far as the BML lives, how they were, Black Lives Matters and all that, I think they're stopped. It's because it's not in America. If it was in America, they could yell all they want and people would be heard.
Yeah.
But because it's in Russia, they can yell all they want and no one's paying attention because it's in another country.
Yeah,
It's
they're not listening
America,
to.
where it affects all of us Americans, with the way things happen on the streets. So that's what I believe is why the Black Lives Matter aren't being outspoken like they were earlier.
Yeah. I mean, what this is where I'll read you this. It says a 7-time WNBA All-Star is not only one of the most dominant figures in her sport, but also she's gay. She's a gay Black woman that has prompted questions about her role, race, and sexual identity are playing into a country where authorities have been hostile to LGBTQ whatever community, and about whether her case would get more attention if it was involved with a white male athlete. And that kind of statement is the reason why I was like laughing. I was going, dude, there's a guy that's sitting there since 2018 who is a white guy.
But he's not an athlete. He's not athletic.
He's not an athlete, but
so that makes a difference. But
he's still been there he's been there since 2018.
You're right.
So using that sort of a statement saying, oh, if this was a white guy, oh, he would have been home by now. Well, obviously no, because
but not being an athlete doesn't draw much attention.
Well, when it comes down to
like us, well, it's the way it is. A regular person like us want to draw attention. It's just okay for maybe a week or two. Then after that, everything's shut up. But if you're a superstar, hey man, the attention's on you all the time. Yeah. And one other thing that I'm kind of curious is, she's going to another country. Mm-hmm. What the hell are you bringing drugs for? Mm-hmm. You could buy it there if you want. I mean, it's easy to spot someone who sells marijuana and opioids or whatever it is. I mean, it's easy to buy drugs off the streets. Why are you bringing them when they know that they're checking every suitcase and every piece of luggage that you have? I mean, you have to have some common sense.
I can counter that one though, because I'm going to assume. All right, let's be honest, and both of you, she's been going in and out of that country for the last 7 years. Okay, I'm going to assume.
Me personally, I don't know that.
No, she has. She goes there every year. She goes there every year to play basketball because that's where she makes most of her money. So she's been going in and out of that country for like the last 7-8 years. I'm going to assume this isn't the first time she's brought THC into Russia. I'm going to assume she has taken it in there many, many, many times. I think it's that old saying: wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong time.
Right.
I think if the situation wasn't what it was with the Ukraine, she gets on that plane, she's home in 10, 12 hours.
Right.
But because of what was taking place and then the possibility, because at that time, I don't think we had any sanctions up yet. I think that was so early in the beginning. So there was, it's just the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. I think if it were just any other day, I think she gets on. I think they waive that THC off, and she gets on the plane and she comes home.
And that's why I said it's probably going to have something related with the Ukrainians, as far as us giving them money, or what you just mentioned, lifting some kind of sanctions off of them. That's what the exchange, with another prisoner. I don't think that's has anything to do with it.
Well,
I
that's
think
the
it's all
State Department.
right. That's just they don't want to tell you the real truth, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's what I believe.
Hopefully, I wish both of those guys could come home. And when I read the article, that dude's family's a little, they want her to come home as well, but they don't feel it would be fair if she comes home before their dad does. Her dad's been there since 2018. So that guy, that's quite a bit of time to be a prisoner there for allegedly being a spy.
And they haven't had any trials yet. And some guy on TV today was just saying whether they have proof of her bringing the stuff in or whether there isn't any actual proof, it doesn't matter, because whether they have proof that she's innocent or not, she's going to be found guilty.
It's Russia, baby. It's Russia.
She's going to be found guilty no matter what, to put pressure on the U.S. to, release whatever.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Russia, it may be 2022, but Russia knows everything that you're about by the time you come into their country. They know everything. They knew that she had THC. They knew someday they could use that against her. They know who's coming in their country. They know every person that comes in there's background. Have they ever been arrested? They know all that stuff. That's a country you don't go in messing around. You don't. China, Russia, two places you don't fuck around if you're an American, because you're going to get screwed. We are going to go right into this IOC issues, new guidelines on transgender athletes. Mr. Sharp.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I think it's awesome because all the transgenders have an unfair advantage. Because if you look, it's always men who want to be women competing against women. There are no women who transgender to men who want to play against men because they know that they're weaker.
All right, I'm going to call time out because I know you're talking two different articles because I got stuck in that situation. You're reading the one about the swimming, correct?
Yeah.
You're not reading the IOC's new guidelines, because the IOC's new guidelines, because their guidelines is opening it up to transgenders. You know that, right?
No.
Yes.
I thought the guidelines were to not have them.
No, the International Olympic Committee announced new framework for transgenders and intersex athletes Tuesday, dropping controversial policies that require complex athletes to undergo medical unnecessary procedures for treatments. And hold on here. Hey, call you back. I'm doing the show. Bye. Yeah, that was Frank. Yeah, you're reading the swimming part. Right. That's a different thing. The IOC has set new guidelines that are going through on Tuesday. The IOC outlined 10 principles which will describe grounded on respect and international recognition for human rights that sports competition should follow. It also says it will no longer require athletes to undergo hormone level modifications to compete. The new framework is not legally binding and was developed followed by extensive consultation with athletes, other sports organizations, and experts in the field of human rights, law, and medicine. So they're changing everything. Everything that they said in 2015 was okay. If you were you had to do this, you had to get your shit cut off. That all is all in the trash now. Everything is completely open to transgender. Now, what you're talking about is the swimming part of it. They're the ones that said, we don't give a shit what you say. This is how it's going to be for swimming. So I knew we got our things mixed up because when I read yours, I was like, wait a minute. There's another article above that one about the IOC changing everything and taking away all the hormone treatments, the snipping of the what I don't even want to talk about.
Well, I was under the impression, the way I heard it on the news, and maybe I misunderstood, or they didn't say all of it, but I was under the impression that they were going to set rules that the transgender transgenders could not participate in the Olympic sports. That's the way I heard it, interpreted it, and that's the way I assumed it was from what I heard on the news. I didn't read anything up or not, only what I heard on the news.
Yeah, the swimming part of it is changing. The swimming part said, we don't care what the IOC says. This is our requirement. You either follow this or you don't compete in the swimming events, because the swimming events are all different. When I went and looked at what they're trying to push, it says Olympic water sports competitions adopt new gender inclusion policy, and basically under the new policy, transgender women can compete in women's sport events only if the transition before the age of 12. This is weird, dude. Is this the article you're talking about, Bob?
I guess I just saw a clip on it, and I saw that Leah Thomas wasn't happy about it. Neither were a lot of people in the LGBTQ community. But come on now, he's got to transition before he's 12.
Right.
What 12-year-old boy wants to be a girl?
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, that's why they're fighting over this, because each country has a different regulations when someone can do this type of stuff. In the United States, it's 21. Some countries, it is 12. But because the Olympic swimming team is setting this number, it's not feasible for all the countries, because every country has a different policy of when someone can do their transition. Here, I'll read you their rules. Under the new policy, it says you can compete in women's sport events if you transition before turning 12, reaching stage 2 of puberty. The Turner scale, which marks the beginning of physical change. The policy also bans athletes who use testosterone as part of female to male gender affirming hormone treatment from participating in women's competition unless the testosterone was used for less than a year, the treatment didn't take place during puberty, and the testosterone levels are back to pre-treatment levels. There's some weird shit here.
That was hard to understand.
It is. It says the members of the organization voted 71.5% in favor of this new policy. So that's a big number, So the swimming, they're not messing around. They're setting a standard. They don't care what the IOC says. This is the way it's going to be, and it says this was something that they're going to have to fight, because the IOC isn't just about. It's about human rights as well, which is, they're trying to apply human rights. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I get what you're trying to say, but we're not talking about a whole new species
of life.
It's just man and woman. I mean, we're not talking about like letting, we got to feel sorry for this whole new species of people that are out here. But when you sent me that thing, that's why I got confused, because there's two different articles, and the one's on swimming. And the swimming made all these changes the same time the IOC decided to make all their changes as well. It's pretty. And he says responding to the criticisms of spokesmen for the president of FINA, stressed in the statement that the organization will not encourage people to transition before the age of 12. It's what the scientists are saying, that if you transition after the start of puberty, you have the advantage. He said you cannot transition by the age in most countries, and hopefully you won't be encouraging it too. So that's what they're fearing too, is that like someone from the U.S. is going to move to wherever, because they know they can transition, at 12, so they can pretend. But how do you know when you're 12 you're like ready, you're going to be in the Olympics? You know what I mean?
At 12, all you want to do is just go out and
because there are certain countries that find you like at 6 years old, and then you go to camp and you train. That's all you do.
You go to China, and from 6 to 12, you train in a certain sport, and that's it. Russia, the same thing. All those Eastern Bloc countries, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They catch you at 6, they keep you in school, they feed you, they educate you, and then they train you 10 hours a day.
And I bet you they make you get up every morning and pledge allegiance to their flag too, as well.
Yeah, they do.
They brainwash you like we're trying to brainwash our athletes, but we can't because of certain conditions.
Yeah,
We can't brainwash them. We're training them like they do over there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, Tuesday's framework replaces guidelines that the IOC released in 2015, which puts a limit on athletes' I hate that word, whatever, fuck it, levels that require some of them to. Yeah, I know. I always have a hard time with testosterone. To undergo treatment, the IOC now describes the medically unnecessary. Before 2015, the ICO requires athletes to undergo genital surgery. So yeah, I mean, prior to 2015, if you were a male and you wanted to compete, you had to have your junk cut.
I think it's only fair. If you want to become a woman, you have to have the plumbing as a woman too.
So they took that all out. All that is all gone. They don't have to worry about their testosterone levels. They don't have to worry about taking any of that stuff now. They can just, any guy can say, I'm a girl now. I'm going to compete.
Could I do the same thing? Could I do the same thing? Say, hey, I want to compete as a woman because I'm a transgender.
What? Oh, now see, since you opened that can of worms up, I want to know which event would Andre Sala be participating in?
I'd be participating in the weightlifting contest.
Okay.
Or the shot put.
Yeah, shot put. You can't even walk to the bathroom.
If I had the hip, if I had the surgery.
Yeah, but you think though? I mean, women's taekwondo, women's jiu-jitsu. Anything where it's a physical one-on-one competition between women, if you're a biological man, you're going to kick their ass.
Yeah, you're going to kick their ass. Bone structure, everything is going to be completely different. Muscle structure, bone structure.
Didn't you see my form just a second ago? I couldn't compete in that.
Yeah, you're taekwondo. Taekwondo.
I was impressed.
Who wins, karate or taekwondo?
But I also was 30 years younger then, though.
Yeah, just a little bit younger. I mean, I don't understand. I know, I mean, we've said it before on the show. I mean, it's less than 3% of the population that is transgender, and it just, I mean, is this going to make a difference to a transgender that's wants to participate in that high level? Let's grant it, the Olympics. That's just about as high as most people are going to go, but that's the cream of the crop.
Okay, this year it's 3%.
It's probably less than that, to be honest.
Let's just say 3. And if this works out the way it is, next year it'll be 3.5. Then the following year it'll be 4. Next thing you know, it's 10, 12%. And then you got a whole new species of life with a whole new
species.
You brought that up, Bob. I mean, John, you brought it up.
I know.
And then, all of a sudden, you're going to have 2 different competitions: competition in swimming for the regular people, and then competition in swimming for the transgenders.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to have to do eventually.
I mean, I had a friend of mine that put it all in a nutshell. And he said, there's people, the archaeologists that are digging bones and they find in these bones of these people and they can tell if it's a male or female. He joked, he goes, well, what is it going to be like, say, 1 million years from now? And they start digging up these bodies from 2020 and they dig out that when they start to research the bones, what are they going to say? And that's how you end that argument, because the archaeologist is going to say 23-year-old male. He's not gonna say a 23-year-old transgender or a 23-year-old. I don't know. He's gonna look at the bones. He's gonna look at the bone structure, jaw, the skull, the legs, everything, and he's gonna say 23-year-old male skeleton, not a 23-year-old transgender skeleton.
That's very a possibility. True.
I mean, I'm not shitting on them. I mean, everyone should be able to do whatever they want to do, or to a point. But like we've talked about before, what about that little girl that has been participating in sports her whole life, working her way to get to that spot, in the Olympics. And let's be honest, there's not a lot of spots when it comes to the Olympics, especially in some of these events. These teams are small,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not, let alone you're competing against a few thousand women in our country, and now you're fighting, thousands of women are competing for 5 spots, and you're going to lose your spot to a male, a transgender, who decided that he wanted to be a female, and now of course he's going to be stronger, faster, and better, so he's going to take that spot away from that girl, and
Right.
to me it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I whatever, maybe the IOC can just I don't know, create a new fucking category.
They're going to have to eventually. Eventually, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
No, it can't go on like this for the next 100 years, 200 years.
Yeah. And the
No,
thing
because
too is, go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Bob.
well, all you're doing is ruining. You're ruining all the steps that women had to fight for Title IX and for women's sports.
Right.
Everything that they fought for, you're just like kicking sand in their face, saying you're not important anymore.
That's very true.
It's a sad thing because that's how I commented on. I got more shit from women on that post on the Today Show on Facebook than men, and I simply wrote, so everything that the women did in the 60s and 70s and women movement, all that hard work that they went through to get equality in the workforce and in sports and in life in general, you're going to shit on that because you feel bad for this transgender that wants to compete and take a spot away from a woman. And I got more shit for that from women. And I was just like, where's all the respect, all the hard work that those women did in the 60s and the 70s, fighting to get equality at work and at schools and in life in general, and all that you're willing to throw away to please.
But everybody has to be treated equal.
Yeah. Well, that's not the sad thing, but I think they need to realize that this isn't no longer a U.S. issue. When you have a group like the IOC that's throwing out rules like this is worldwide. So this isn't no longer a battle that we're having within our own country here. And the hard part is a lot of these transgenders are realizing that no matter what the IOC says, if you start looking around through the schools here in the U.S., they're not letting them participate. Almost 21 of the 50-something states have said no to transgenders in sports. So you're going to participate as a man, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I mean,
right now it's like a no-win situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about this stuff.
You don't.
I mean, I read this article. I was just, is it fair that a group has made them have to go through all these steps to participate? I don't know. I didn't have to go through it. I mean, I didn't have to take hormone shots. I didn't have to get my junk cut off. But, to me, it's just like, I'm a man. I'm going to participate as a man. I'm not going to try to participate as a female and take a spot away from somebody.
You were born as a man. Mm-hmm. You should do things as a man.
Yeah.
You were born as a woman. You should do things as a woman.
So I think this is going to, and then what I started thinking about this, Bob, too, is, each country that hosts the Olympics, they're going to have a say on this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, and no matter what the IOC says, Germany might say, hey, you know what? This isn't right. We don't want this, or want any other country that's going to say, they could say,
right.
They can get the Olympics and like, okay, well, we're not going to let transgender apply. We don't care what the IOC says.
Okay. So, jokingly though, Germany they'll have a say in it because East Berlin and East Germany, they were the first.
Yeah, they're pretty bad about that. They're pretty bad about that. That's something you don't go telling people in Germany that you're transgender. You end up missing.
Well, hell, the 72 and 76 East German swim team looked like a bunch of dudes because they were taking so many steroids.
Yeah.
They're the ones that started it, man. That's why today's gender people can do what they're doing because East Berlin, East
They did all the testing. They did all the testing over there. Warren Sapp says Kaepernick's tryout was horrible. Oh,
Gee,
man.
much to my surprise. I would have never thought that his workouts were horrible.
Yeah, look, I want to, I want to believe Warren Sapp, but then again, after I read the article and he really he didn't see any video, he's just going by hearsay. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I would have given him a little more credit, saying this if he actually, actually saw the practice, but he didn't see it. All he just got secondhand word from someone. Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
Warren Sapp made a point that everyone's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get to see the video. Yeah. Where is the video? Because if he was talented and he was great, that video would have been slapped on ESPN the same night.
Right.
And the whole world would have seen how good Kaepernick is. Nobody's seen the video.
Yeah, so Nike would have made a commercial out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
I know.
There's no video.
I know.
Of course he was horrible.
Yeah. Like I said, though, I would give him a little more. Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
I can't see how somebody that's been out of football 5-7 years now, don't even know how far long it's been, that he could still be good in throwing, trying to sidestep a rusher. I just can't see how his touch for placement of the ball to the receiver's hands could be pinpoint when he hasn't done that in 7 years. I just don't. So
he's throwing the ball to his girlfriend in the backyard.
Yeah. What, for 20 feet, 10 feet? So like Bob said, there's no film because the Warren Sapp hasn't seen a film because there is no film.
Yeah.
Whether Warren Sapp saw a film or not, I still believe him.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, but if he was any good, where's his contract?
Right.
Why didn't the Raiders sign it?
Yeah, right. The Raiders considered Cap's workout positive, but no deal was made. So that was the end of the article that I read. But it like I said, probably his workout was probably shitty. But then again, okay, there's no video, but then why even open your mouth? So to me, when I read articles like this and I see and I remember the situation that Warren Sapp was in before and the reason why he's no longer in the media, to me, I feel like this is like he's trying to get himself back into the media. Why even say anything? I mean, that's what I'm saying. We all know his workout was horrible. But if you weren't there.
Why would Warren Sapp want to be back in the media? I mean, what does he have to prove that he wants to be back in the media? What, does he want to come back and play again or something?
No, he wants to get back on TV.
No.
Really? As a what? A commentator?
Yeah, like before.
I might have seen him a few times, but I don't think he was a great commentator from the times that I saw him.
No, I don't remember him being a good one, but I know he said something that caused him to lose his job.
Oh, really? I don't even know what he said.
I can't remember it either.
Did he say something? Did he say something that
you remember what he said, Bob? It was something controversial that cost him his job.
Was it something about racism? I
don't remember what Warren Sapp said. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, did it have anything to do with racism? Because most white people get fired when they say something that's racist.
Yeah.
And the black guys, I don't know if they get fired or not. Maybe they get a warning. So I don't know what Warren Sapp said.
I'm trying to find.
Warren Sapp. Okay, I mean, I love the fact that he's making a comment on it because he's not afraid to go against the narrative what everyone else is shoving down our throat. Okay, Warren Sapp has some great points. Okay, where's the video? Right. He talked to some people who were there. They said that the work was horrible. Where's the video? If it was a great video, they'd be shoving it down our throat right now saying, look how great Kaepernick is. He's not that good. If he was that good, he would be on faults right now.
Yeah, says former Buccaneers Yeah, former Buccaneers star, worked for the NFL Network until February 2015, when he was fired after soliciting prostitution.
Oh, gee.
The early mornings. Yeah, remember this? It was early morning of the Super Bowl.
I don't remember at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he got fired.
Then there's a double standard because Charles Barkley got arrested for hitting up a hooker in Phoenix, and he still has a job.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Figure
mean,
that out, man. You know, Charles Barkley sits in the background and lets Shaq and Kenny Smith and the other guy do all the talking, and Bark just, yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that good. Bang, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like I said, I mean, to me, I get what he's saying. I would respect it a little bit more if he was there, if he actually did, whether or not, Bob, he's seen a video or didn't see a video, is still something. He said this to gain something. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as he said it because he feels like he's above cap and he can do this and he's not afraid. To me, there's always some sort of secondary thing involved. I mean, that's like me saying, I know who shot John F. Kennedy because I heard it from somebody. That's the same thing. That's how I look at Warren Sapp. He wasn't there. Yeah, there's no video. Well, if there's no video, keep your mouth shut. Let somebody else.
That makes sense in a way.
Yeah, go inside.
But yeah, if there's no video, keep your mouth shut. But the problem is if the media narrative is Cap is great, Cap was awesome, Cap did this, why is there video? Okay, and every man has a right to his opinion. There's two things that Warren Sapp has that Colin Kaepernick and most of us will never have: a Super Bowl ring and a gold jacket from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think he gets a voice. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can.
No, but what he could have said, but he could have stated it differently, though. He could have stated where I haven't seen no video, but I don't think he's as good as they say he is. Instead of just saying, the workouts were bad. He could have said, I heard the workouts were bad. That's somebody else's opinion. I'm just going to state what I heard, and you guys can take it to your own opinion. He could have stated it a little differently. But both you guys have the,
when I see stories like this, maybe I'm a little twisted or a little, just whatever. But when I see stories like this, I automatically assume what's why, what's the advantage? Why is he saying this? How's it going to benefit him? And I know that's kind of egotistical, but that's just how I look at things when I read articles, especially when people talk about stuff they didn't see it. And I mean, then you have, the Raiders going back and saying, hey, no, the workout was great. Everything is positive. No deal though. We're not interested. So
then the workouts weren't great.
Then why not just let us see the video then?
Well, I don't know.
If Warren Sapp says it's horrible, his agent today is attacking Warren Sapp. Okay, why don't you just let Warren Sapp see the video, or let the rest of us see the video? All right? Now, I can tell you the one problem with Colin Kaepernick last time he pulled this bullshit, where he was going for the workout, but he changed the workout so only a select people could see the workout. Right. He's throwing off his back foot. He's not striding into the ball, and he hit nobody in stride. Everybody either had to wait for the ball or the ball was overthrown. His form sucks. Unless he fixed his form, he's not any good.
Yeah.
I also remember that before his workouts where he was throwing the ball, he specifically set a date to do his workouts, and he specifically set the time and the dates to do these workouts, and he never showed up to any of those. And then the second time is when you're saying, Bob, that he was thrown off the back foot. And me personally, like I said earlier, I don't think a guy that's been out of sports for 5 years or 7 years whatever the case may be, he cannot be good. He cannot pinpoint. He cannot throw the guys on stride. He cannot maneuver his feet where he's got to shift his feet to the left, then shift them to the right, then shift them backwards and forward. He cannot do that consistently good because he's out of touch. Once you're out of touch, that's it. That's like me trying to go back to the martial arts and trying to defend myself against, a 10-year-older that's been doing it for years now.
Your two grandkids would whoop your ass.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not assuming that he had a great workout. I like I said, I always feel like someone's saying things like that to gain something, and he has a lot to gain. And I'm assuming his workout was horrible. I'm sure it was. Like I said, timing's got to be off. Everything's got to be off. After 5 years of not playing at that level.
But you're probably right, though. Warren Sapp probably said it. So, like LeBron, whenever LeBron speaks, everybody's got to go and listen and stick a microphone in his face and tape everything. So maybe you're right. Maybe LeBron is I forgot his name now. Sapp. Maybe he's trying to do the same. Because right now, in basketball, all talk is about is LeBron, not about anybody else who the players got drafted from, which team. None of that shit. It's all about LeBron, and maybe Kyrie Irving might get back together again.
Hey, before we continue on, how about our Warriors? How about a little clap for our Warriors, huh?
Oh, come on. You don't want to rub it in on Bob again, do you?
Bob doesn't participate in basketball anymore. He stopped watching after 1989.
Oh. I thought it was maybe 2022.
The dynasty has
true. I mean, all right. So my team made it to the finals. That's great, but I'm still riding on my high of the Rams winning the Super Bowl and the Georgia Bulldogs winning the national championship, and the Dodgers winning the World Series this year. So I'm still riding on that high.
Maybe.
We cannot live our lives on past decades.
Spoken like a 49er fan. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Rams Super Bowl this year in February.
Yeah. Me and Bob can talk about the fact that the Rams won a Super Bowl. You can't throw up Super Bowls from fucking 90s. You can't do that.
94, 95. Okay?
94.
That's too far back. You can't throw that in anybody's face anymore.
It doesn't matter if it's
you get 1 year. You get 1 year to be able to throw that in people's face. Right, Bob? Is that about right? You get 1 year, 365 days. Dude.
1 year or 20 years.
So you're no longer the champ. You can say everything you want to talk about.
Yeah, you get 365 days on the button.
Come on.
On the button.
Wake up. It's still in the past.
As soon as the Super Bowl is over and it's double zeros up there and the score is finally put up, then you got to stop. And if next year the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, as soon as the Super Bowl is done and the clock says 0, we can no longer talk about the Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Because some of these sports commentators say the Rams might not even get out of their division.
We can't throw that in anybody's face anymore.
It's done.
What?
Yeah. These sports commentators, some of these sports commentators are saying that the Rams might not get out of their division.
Who's going to beat them?
The Niners, Arizona.
The Niners are going with a second-year quarterback who can barely wipe his ass. Seattle doesn't have a quarterback anymore.
They're going with Kaepernick. Kaepernick's going to be their starter. And they're saying that maybe if the Rams make the playoffs, they might make it as a wild card, but then they'll lose in the first round. That's the prediction that some of these sports commentators have been talking about.
That's probably on Bay Area Sports Network, Bob.
Yeah, it's probably KBR. Probably KBR.
Kron. Isn't it Kron? Kron is the TV station out there.
Investigate. Dig deep. The investigator that you guys are, dig deep.
All right, I wanted to talk a little before we get into the last thing. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening now with the Warriors and the dynasty talks, and of course now everybody's trying to put Curry in, and this is not Curry. Curry's not even bringing this stuff up, but everyone's trying to, there's a group out there that's talking about he should be up there with the great ones. There's a group that says no, he's got to do it at least one more time. So. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts. I mean, I know he's still a little bit, he's still young. He's probably, I don't know.
34.
He's got, yeah, but he's only been, how long has he been in the league? 11 years now?
Yeah.
No. Or he came out of college when he's 21, 22.
Yeah.
So, maybe 11, 12 years.
Yeah. I mean, he still has a
He was
lot of
drafted in
basketball left.
2009, I thought.
Yeah.
2000 or
Okay, so
2010. Well, he does have a lot of
13
basketball
games.
left.
He still has a
So we'll
lot of
say, yeah.
basketball. I mean, as long as he keeps shooting like he's shooting, I don't see that scoring title lasting. I see him passing whatever LeBron puts up, because LeBron's going to pass Kareem this year.
Kareem.
Well, I guess you say this year. Yeah, he's going to pass him. But where do you put Curry now? Right now, Curry on that current list that we put together. Do you bump him up after getting this championship and getting the MVP?
The MVP. That's still pretty tough.
No.
That's still a pretty tough list.
Yeah.
The only thing, okay, maybe he might not be in the top 10 right now, but if they can put Charles Barkley in the top 75, which he hasn't won nothing but garbanzo beans, and Curry's won at least 4 championships, and I don't think Charles Barkley has won any, and he hasn't won any MVPs. If they can put Barkley in there, they can put Curry in that top 20-75. Probably. I mean, you really have to dig deep, and you really have to investigate, which is something I wouldn't do, but somebody else might do it, and then maybe they can, rhyme and reason why he should be in and he shouldn't be in. That's what I believe.
Well, they're saying there's like this first article. Stephen Curry names his top 5. Oh, well, that's his top. Let me see where'd it go now? I lost it. Where was it? The Steve Kerr rank is the article. It says the NBA top 75 all-time players. Where does Steph Curry rank now on the list? And that's the kind of reason why I kind of, dude, they want me to pay $1.99 to read this fucking article. You sons of bitches.
I would put Curry in the top 50 because of the way the game is played now. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the all-time leading scorer will always be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because Kareem said it best. I played 20 years of basketball. I made 1 3-pointer.
Right.
1.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, but Jabbar,
if you take the 3-point shot, LeBron's not even close.
That's true. Neither would be Curry. Neither will be Curry when it's his turn. That's true. And if they had it's always if, but if they would have had the 3-pointer back when Barry was playing, he might be a 3-point leader because he was a deadly outside shooter from the get-go. But it's just that they didn't have the 3-point shot.
Yeah, it says Steph Curry is.
But also, see,
go ahead, Bob.
Rick Barry started in the ABA.
Right, and that screwed him up. That's good. The ABA started with the 3, but he started with the Warriors,
with 3-point shot.
and then he jumped to the ABA, and then he jumped back to the Warriors.
Right.
So, well, this article says that he should be on everyone's top 5 right now.
No,
Curry.
No,
Curry.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah,
I
don't know about the top 5. I mean, that's someone's really.
It's all right. I'm not trying to start shit, but Curry's better than Magic.
Fuck you,
man. I don't know.
Fuck you.
He was.
Magic would have Curry fouled out by halftime. Magic is 6'9", Curry 6'3". Magic would take him to the hole every goddamn play.
And everybody does that now. And everybody does that now. But then also all the big guys that guard Curry outside, Curry eats them up. So it's both, right?
Yeah.
The Magic would take him to the hoop because he's much bigger, but then Curry would dribble all around him and just
Curry would beat him to the hole if he brings Curry. If he draws Magic to the outside to guard him from stopping him from scoring the 3, I would believe that he would have the speed to get by Magic to get to the hole.
Me too.
No.
I do believe that. I don't
guys
put
are
him, guys. I
smoking
don't
crack.
have him in my top
and-
five.
If you think
And-
Steph Curry's better than Magic Johnson, you're smoking crack. If you think
Well-
Steph Curry's better than Oscar
You
Robertson,
got to stop
you're
living in the
smoking
past, Bob. Stop living in the past, Bob.
But at the same time,
crack. The past
Curry
is what
has
makes him great.
Curry has a better outside shot. Curry has a better outside
Oscar
shot.
Robertson was king of the triple doubles at 6'5" point guard. He
Yeah.
could shoot, rebound, steals, and assist.
Yeah.
Curry,
Yeah. Yeah, Oscar Robertson was good. I'm not saying that, but with John's, we're talking
Oscar
about
Robertson was great.
We're talking about Magic Johnson against Curry right now.
And one-on-one, I don't think
One-on-one,
I think
Magic
Magic
could.
takes
Curry, one-on-one, Curry would beat him to the hole all the time.
Mm.
Now,
Nah.
getting rebounds, and dunking the ball. Yes, Curry wouldn't have a chance. If Magic Johnson got the ball down low, Curry wouldn't have a chance to stop him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't.
I don't have him on my top
If you
five, guys. Just relax.
If you talk about outside shooting, Curry has the advantage there.
Yeah.
If you talk about the sky hook, yeah, Magic Johnson would have the advantage.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
really
if
gotta weigh
Curry,
those things, you got to weigh those things out and
Yeah.
then decide who do you think. Magic Johnson maybe had 4 or 5 titles
yeah,
and a couple of MVPs, just like Curry has. So that's a wash. So there is a couple of washes. The only difference is Magic Johnson could take Curry to the hole, and
Yeah.
Curry could take Magic Johnson dribbling around him. So it's a wash.
Let's put it to you this way. Okay, let's put it to you this way. If there was no 3-point line, Steph Curry would be an average NBA player.
no, because I
don't
think
think so.
no, because even if that 3-point line wasn't there,
I think
I
so.
still think he's still
No.
shooting from
He's
outside.
still shooting from outside. He
Yeah.
can still
No,
drive
he's not,
to the
because
hoop,
he's going to get the ball inside because that's how the game was played.
but he can shoot from outside. He can shoot that 18-foot jumper.
So could
can
Pete
shoot that 20.
Maravich.
What about Pete Maravich?
Pete Maravich he was the best pure shooter in
The
the
best
NBA.
dribbler.
Ask everybody.
Pete Maravich
He
was
was
the
the best
best
pure shooter.
dribbler. The best dribbler.
Yeah,
Pete
Curry's
Maravich
the all-time.
averaged 44 points a game in college. Pete Maravich
Okay.
averaged 28 points in the NBA, and he played with crappy teams that never win anywhere.
And
You
Curry's
ask
doing the same
anybody,
thing.
Pete
Curry's
Maravich
doing
is
the
the best
same.
pure shooter in basketball.
But Curry's doing the same thing. He's averaging 25, 28, 30 points a game.
Yeah, but Curry's
Come on,
doing it
he
in a
is.
league that doesn't play defense. It's soft, and
Well, you can't
can't go
hurt
for
him
that.
for that, Bob. That's the
can't
thing.
blame him
You
for
keep
that.
doing that, and I
That's
understand
part of
why
the
you're saying
rules.
that, but you can't do that anymore because
You can't
it's
blame
just
him for that.
yeah, it's
That's
not
a
his
part of the
fault that
rules.
he's
I'm not
playing in
blaming him for that.
2022.
The rules are if you go for a layup, you're going to get fouled if the guy touches you.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 years ago, you had to get a nosebleed for them to call a foul on you.
Yeah.
So you can't. Okay, we are comparing players from one to another, but you can't blame it. He's playing in a rule where there's no. You
Yeah,
can't
you
blame
can't do
him for
that no
that.
more.
You got to you got to blame the NBA officials or the NBA owners for setting those rules.
That's just like saying that's like blaming Will Chamberlain that because he was 7'1" that he
And he
always
scored
dunked on
100 points in one game
Yeah.
because it
the
was
problem is with Wilt, they changed the rules to stop Wilt from scoring. Couldn't dunk anymore. Couldn't do this
Okay.
anymore.
And
they
now they're
made
changing
rules
the
to help these guys to score.
And now they're changing the rules that you have to, that this line is 3 points. And if you can shoot and make it, then that more power to you. If you shoot and miss, well, then you should have never took that shot. Those are just the rules.
Yeah, he's
All right.
he's
All right.
he's nearly
Back in his
11,000
prime,
points from
okay?
reaching 30,000.
Yeah,
What was
because
that,
he shoots
Bob?
threes all the time. And here's the deal.
11,000
Okay,
points.
back in the day, if I'm gonna take Magic Johnson in his prime, 1982, 1983, 1984. There is no way Curry is better than Magic Johnson. Matter of fact, you can pick your starting five. You can have Steph Curry. I'll take Magic Johnson. That's how confident I am, and I'll kick your ass every time.
Yeah, well, I'll take Curry today. I'll take Curry today because Curry
I won't.
today is
I
the better
won't.
player.
I won't.
Okay,
I won't.
Magic
Curry,
is 64
Curry,
years old. I'm
Curry,
not
for,
taking Magic
Curry, 4 or
because
5 years
you
ago.
can't go back in time, Bob. You
If
can't go back in time and bring a 64
Curry
year old guy
4
in.
or 5 years ago would have ate up Magic Johnson because Magic Johnson could not keep up with him. The only thing Magic Johnson could have did was defend the hoop and do the sky hoop. Magic Johnson couldn't shoot that 18-footer. Magic Johnson might have been
Yeah, I
able to
could.
dribble. Magic Johnson might have been able to dribble to the hole and maybe put up a thing. Curry would have did it consistently. Magic Johnson wouldn't have did it consistently. The only thing Magic Johnson could have did consistently was dunk over Curry.
Yeah, you would get physical because
No.
he's going to play 80s style basketball.
No.
So his advantage was being physical in the 80s. To score, you had to be physical.
We're
Where
not
today's
saying
game,
that Magic Johnson should be number 5 and Curry shouldn't. We're
No.
just saying that you can't compare those, and it's hard to be.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else should go to 4, drop somebody out of 4, put Magic Johnson at 4 and Curry at 5. Then
Yeah, I think they should make a whole new list and just call it decades.
Yeah.
And then just go,
They shouldn't even.
this was the best
so
player
look,
in the 50s. This was the best
Basically,
player
they
in the
shouldn't even-
60s.
They shouldn't
Okay.
even compare
No,
players
no,
against
no.
players. They should just say these were the best in the 80s, these were the best in the 90s, these were the best
Yeah.
all right.
and that's it. They shouldn't
All right.
compare.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, my 2000
I'm-
my 1881 Niners champions were better than the 1960 Green Bay Packers. Well, you can't compare that because in Green Bay, all they did was run the ball. In the 80s, all they did was pass the ball. So you can't say who's better and who's not. You just can't. You just say enjoy who's better at that moment. And we can't keep going back what happened 30, 40 years ago. We can't. We got to go look forward to what's going to happen next. What's going to happen in the next
that's
5
fine.
years?
That's fine, Andre, that's incredibly fine, Andre. That's fine. But you guys are the one who's comparing Steph Curry to Magic Johnson. You're the ones going back to the past.
I'm
So
not
if you don't want to
comparing.
go back to the past, don't compare Curry to anybody in the past.
Oh, I
Compare him
didn't.
to
I
who's
wasn't
playing now.
comparing. I wasn't comparing Curry to Magic. I was saying
Somebody
that
else.
Curry
You
deserves to
said
be
Steph.
above Magic.
Somebody else
I think you're
has
full of shit.
stated.
That's my opinion.
Somebody
I
else
think he
has
Hey, let's
will
talk
stated.
about
by the
Deshaun
end.
Watson.
I guarantee you. I'll say it now, so it'll be on record. I guarantee you, by the time Curry retires, he will surpass Magic Johnson on that top 10 list.
Sure.
It's a possibility.
Maybe
That's
not.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing the
Maybe.
two as players.
No, but
I'm
somebody
just
else
saying
stated that.
he
Somebody
deserves
else
to be
stated it.
above Magic.
All John did was read up what somebody else
All
has
those
stated.
guys are all going to get pushed down eventually. Everyone
Eventually they will.
eventually somebody's going to knock the king out of that number 1 spot. Eventually somebody will
Sure.
do that.
Of
Magic,
course.
I mean, Jordan can't stay up there forever.
200 years from now, we won't even know who Curry or Jordan or anybody else is
No.
because there'll be a whole new
All right,
hundreds.
cool. Deshaun Watson, he's out for the season.
Yeah, Dashawn Watson banned. Well, we don't know yet. They still haven't.
Yeah,
they
they
still.
still
Yes, they've
haven't
already
decided.
banned him.
Oh, they
Did
already
No,
voted
they
it?
have. Right here. I thought I read it today.
Oh, did it come up? Or because I knew they were still. The article said that it wasn't
They're
official
still
yet.
investigating. I don't understand how I don't know if he denied it or not, but I heard someone that was like
No, he's paying these
26
women off not
women.
to testify.
Yeah.
There was something like 26 women, I believe,
Yeah.
that testified against him.
Yeah.
And he settled out of court with 23 of them.
Yeah.
So you know what? I don't care what the Cleveland Browns say about him or the Houston. If he settled out of court with 23 women, he definitely did what they're accusing him of doing.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. You know?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing that separates it because the league doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's found not guilty. The league still can sanction
Right.
these penalties against him.
And I
So
think they
no matter if he pays all these women off, Gerdell could still say, "Hey, you know what? You violated our terms of the labor contract, and you violated those. We're going to suspend you for 6 games, 12 games, whatever it is." So
I think they should. I mean, if you want to set a precedent, is that the right word, president?
yeah.
Then do it. Fine them,
Absolutely.
man. That way the next 10 people will think twice about doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's just was it final, Bob? Did
Well,
Goodell?
is leaking. Yahoo Sports is leaking that they heard that the commissioner is going to give him a 1-year suspension.
Okay, yeah. So
That's from
it's
Yahoo
not
Sports.
official yet. Yeah,
Right.
it's not official yet.
Right.
From what I heard on the radio, on the news today, they actually haven't said, yeah, he's being suspended.
Right. Yeah, they haven't completely said yes or no yet, and it still depends. And there's no, from what I understand, when I read the article, there's no, what do you call it? Like when you lose a case, appeals. There's no appeals.
No appeals.
There's no appeals. So whatever,
Good.
whatever the commissioner brings down, Deshaun Watson can't appeal it. It's law. It's
Good.
done.
Otherwise, they'll be going for the next 5 years, debating back and forth about this.
So let me ask you, Bob, what the fuck was Cleveland thinking with this? What were they thinking with this deal?
They were thinking that it would all go away.
Oh.
But they still have Baker Mayfield.
Right. Who's mad? He's not happy.
Right.
Who's mad? Who's pissed?
If I was him, I'd say, screw you guys. I'm not playing this year. Sit me on the bench.
Oh, no, I'd play.
Yeah.
I would play. I would play, and I would try to win every game that I could. And if I made it to the playoffs again, I would tell the ownership, kiss my ass. I'm gone.
Yeah, because there's when I looked up that let me find it here. I had it in my notes. There's some teams that are really interested in Mayfield. So I mean, but the problem is from what I read in the article, they want to get rid of him bad enough in Cleveland to pay half his salary for next year. So I mean, for a team, if you are a team that's I don't know, man. Where do you rate him as far as he didn't have a great year. He's had a couple good years, but he last year was pretty bad. He threw a lot of interceptions. But
I think his second year was the best.
He had like 2 good years. But there was a lot of years that he threw a lot of interceptions. He was, he didn't throw for a lot of yards. He was hurt. So I mean,
right?
How could he have not had how could not last year not be a bad year when he took him to the playoffs?
Yeah,
he took him all
the way. That was actually
to
2 years ago. Yeah, they did go playoffs. Yeah,
they were last to the playoffs.
I thought it was 2 years ago.
Well, 2 years ago they probably made the playoffs also. They made the playoffs last year, and I think they got beat by the Titans, I believe, last year.
I mean, he's a good backup quarterback. I mean, if you needed a backup quarterback and you knew Cleveland was going to pay half his salary, which is like $8 million, so that you're only in it for $8 million, and you get a pretty good goddamn quarterback. I mean, why not?
Why not? Yeah,
because obviously he doesn't want to play there.
Ahead, Bob. He had a shoulder injury last year,
right?
But just between us three, who was his number 1 receiver?
He's playing for the Rams right now.
That was OBJ 2 years. Last year, Jarvis Landry and Rod Higgins, and Landry was hurt.
Right. Landry, right. Yeah, Landry was his
number 1. His offensive line was a run offensive line, not a pass protection, because of Nick Chubb. So he's got no one to throw the ball to. That's a big name. Deshaun Watson ain't going to have no one to throw the ball to either.
No.
But he can scramble better than I forgot his name. Here we are talking about him, and I forgot his name.
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can scramble. How many Super Bowls has he won?
Yeah, I know. Gabanza beans.
0.
Yeah, same thing with Watson. Watson he's a scrambler also. And they get to the playoffs and boom, they lose. The only one that scrambler that won the Super Bowl is Holmes, because he had a stack fans and stack.
Now, if I mean, that decision had to be up top. I don't think that was a GM making that decision. That had to have been an owner saying, "Go get Deshaun Watson," right? I don't think a GM. I don't think a GM tries to do this. I think this has to come. I mean, an owner has to make a decision on pretty much the highest paid quarterback. Well, not now. I don't know if he's still. Well, no, he wouldn't be because Rodgers' new deal, right?
Right.
So, but prior to Rodgers, I think Deshaun Watson had the biggest quarterback contract in the NFL.
I don't know. I think Holmes was bigger. Patrick Holmes, because he signed something like $250 million for 10 years.
No, because his was 257, I think.
But no, he got $500 million. They're both making $50 million a year. Aaron Rodgers,
$500 million for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think Patrick Holmes was higher than
that whole deal doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. I mean, why you even would make a move on a guy like that and jeopardize your salary cap and the possibility of that guy not even touching the ball once on the field.
But I think that had to be between all of them, not just the owner. I think it had to be between the coach, the general manager, the owners.
Then they should all be fired. They should all be fired. I'm sorry.
Well, that's why Cleveland's been the dogs.
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
That's why they've been in the doghouse for the last 10 years or so.
I know. That's just it. That's going to be that this deal. No matter what happens, and obviously we know he's going to be suspended for a whole year. But that's going to go down as like the worst fucking contract negotiation deal in the NFL history. It has to be right up there against what was the other one prior to that was the Herschel Walker trade, right?
Right.
Was it like 17 players, some nonsense for Herschel Walker?
Yeah, that was terrible. The Herschel Walker one. That was with Minnesota, I believe, right?
Yeah, well, Minnesota. Like Bob said, Cleveland. Minnesota. There you go. All right, guys, we are done. And got anything you guys wanted to throw out before we take off?
Yeah, I was watching some ESPN highlights yesterday, and I cannot believe what I saw between the Angels and the Seattle Mariners. There was a whole team brawl, man.
Yeah, baby.
I just cannot believe that these umpires, it started on Friday from what I heard, that these umpires did not take control of this after the first batter almost got beamed in the head. The second batter got beamed in the head. And I cannot believe that the umpire said, hey,
Bob,
you two, you're out.
Baseball.
You guys are nothing, you're out, you're suspended, blah, blah. They just let it go until an actual fight, and the whole bench took. And then the stupid guy from Cincinnati, he gets into the dugout and he starts throwing the pumpkin seed, the sunflower seed.
Oh, yeah, the reliever for the Angels?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable what I saw.
TV ratings, baby. TV ratings.
Okay, so
I can't hear Bob.
This was the most badass move of that whole fight, right? Winkler is pissed because he just got thrown at his head. The umpires are trying to hold him back. The Angels bullpen is coming in, right? Winkler gets free and just takes on, heads straight into the Angels bullpen to kick someone's ass. These guys are running on the field. He meets them halfway, and he starts chugging on relief pitchers. That's a man right there. That's a man.
Yeah. He used to bring it. He said, take on you all.
What was kind of funny was during that brawl, you see the guys fight in the cluster over there by the somebody's dugout. But then you see, like Bob said, you see the bullpen for both teams running towards where the fight is, and the bullpen guys are side by side. And I didn't see anybody throw a punch.
No, dude. If you're a pitcher, are you throwing a punch?
They would have stopped and said, "Come on, boom, boom," and throw some punches. They didn't do that.
if you're a pitcher, you're not throwing a punch. You're a pitcher unless you good with your left hand with the jab, but you better not be using your right hand.
three pitches from the Seattle Mariners.
You put your right hand in your back like this, and you just throw jabs.
Hey, Clint Eastwood did that once in Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah.
He had his hand tied behind him. He beat the shit out of one guy. But no, I was just really surprised though that it seemed like the umpires did not try to take control of that until it was way too late.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have stopped it 2 games before.
Yeah,
by all they did was just don't do it again. Don't do it again. Well, they're gonna beam each other.
Yeah. It just carries on, and we know, we've watched baseball long enough. Sometimes it'll carry on to the next season when they finally meet up again. It's like, oh yeah, we didn't forget you. You did this game 32 of last year, but we had to wait till next year to face you again. But here we go, first pitch. And
then the I think it was the coach of the Seattle Mariners, because he got thrown out and he goes, well, this just escalates when you play. Oh, no, the Cincinnati coach. Well, when you play a team as many times as we did in the last 12 games or 13 games, things like this is going to happen. Well, no, you're the coach. You're the coach. You're the umpire, or you're the coach. You can stop it from happening because you know what's going to happen. Those guys that got beamed at their heads, even though they were having a helmet, if that ball would have hit him in the head, those guys would have been on the concussion list for the next 3 months, because there's no way they were going to survive a beanball to their head at 100 miles an hour.
I get the beanball thing, but I do believe it shouldn't be above the shoulders. I think it's fine if you want to.
For me, it shouldn't be above the knee.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, even there, no, because it needs
the thighs. The thighs. That's what it should be. Yeah. No higher than the thighs.
Well, you're throwing at somebody's head, and I don't care if you have the helmet on or not. I think that's just. I know baseball. It's baseball, but. Dude, that's someone's life. So, fuck. I mean, if you want to beam him and pay him back, hit him in the back.
Hit him in the shoulder, hit him in the thigh.
I'm not saying throw a fucking curveball at 72 miles. I mean, if you want to throw that fastball, throw it at his butt. Throw it at his. That still hurts like fuck. I've been hit with a fucking 80-mile-an-hour pitch.
Some of them tried that. They try to throw behind the batter because when you see behind the batter, you're always going to back up.
Yeah.
But they were trying to throw it behind him.
Yeah.
And they came really close. There was times where it tipped. It's like it would here's the tip of the hat. The ball would just shoom. Jesus Christ. First of all, that pitcher should have been out of the game right there and then, and a warning to their coach and say one more time, then you're out, and so is the other guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, man, there needs to be some changes in baseball. We need to get rid of the home plate umpire.
No, they got to figure something out, because
put some shock collars on the players, and if they get out of line, just fucking the manager can
just think what would have happened a long time ago. We're not going to go back in time. So
and then they need to the last and final rule they need to do is ban the Dodgers from playing baseball ever again. And that would make baseball.
You jealous.
No, you know what they should do? Here's what they should do. They should stop.
You'll always be the Giants will always be the little brothers to the Dodgers.
They should stop.
Who followed who here, Bob?
They should stop letting the Dodgers wear those.
The Dodgers wanted to move to LA, but they couldn't move by themselves because
who followed who here?
Just to play one. So the Dodgers found a spot in San Francisco for the Giants to move to because they didn't like their stadium. The Dodgers helped finance that first stadium and brought the Giants with them.
Yeah,
because they knew they needed a big. Because they knew they needed a big brother. That's the only reason why they brought the Giants along, to be my big brother.
The Dodgers wouldn't be the Dodgers without the Giants. The Giants wouldn't be the Giants without the Dodgers. Let's be honest.
What they should stop doing is
there's only a few great rivalries in sports. You got Yankees, Red Sox. You got Giants, Dodgers. Who else? Who else would you put up in those? Who would you put as the great? Yeah, Lakers, Boston,
Dallas and Green Bay.
Lakers, Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Green Bay, Chicago.
Okay,
Yeah.
they should stop letting the Dodgers wear those ugly blue
Here we go
pajama
again.
suits, man. Those ugly blue pajama suits.
Bob agrees with you
Okay,
on that.
hey Andre,
uniform.
Yes.
Andre, it's time for you to take a nap. See you, fellas.
It's not-
I'm not
Yeah,
wearing the blue pajamas. I got
we're
a red
gonna
shirt
go.
on. I
We
got a
gotta
red
go.
shirt on.
All right, everybody. We'll
All
see
right,
everybody
see you
next
guys
week.
later.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp, and thank you, Mr.
Bye.
Sala.
Yes,
Have a
see you
good
guys
rest of your day. Stay out of the heat.
I'm
And
fine.
bye-bye.
Hey, I'm not going outside. It's
You gotta-
103 out
You
here.
got a pull. Shut up.
I don't care. It's 103.